Welcome, gun runner.
Hello everybody, Kieran aka the Laird here, and I am back with a new episode of Laird's Lowdown, as you probably expected really, because that's what the title says, and it's a Wednesday, and that's what I do now. So, yes, this week we're kind of following on again from lots of previous videos I've made actually, because we're touching back on a previous Laird's Lowdown that I made, but kind of in a different way. So, you might remember when I did a video just like this, when I talked about the new Atari 2600 Pac-Man edition, which is actually out now. I've seen some reviews of it and people are very impressed with it by all accounts. I didn't buy one because I didn't see any point, because it is essentially, it looks the same as the Atari 2600 Plus, but yellow with Pac-Man and ghosts and stuff on it. And the internals are the same as the 7800 Plus. I already have the 2600 Plus and the 7800 Plus. I didn't see any point in spending 150 quid on another one just because it looks really cool and it's got Pac-Man and it's yellow. As cool as it is and as much as I wanted it, I just could not justify spending that on another one, because I thought for what it is, it's pretty expensive. You're paying for the licensing basically. It's a lot more expensive than the standard 2600 Plus and 7800 Plus, and you're not really getting anything extra for your money. You do get a cool cartridge with it though that does contain 2600 Pac-Man on it and 7800 Pac-Man, a new version actually. I thought it was just going to be Pac-Man Collection by Bob DiCrescenzo, which would have made sense, but it's not. It's a sort of new version of that, where it's got the 2600 version of Pac-Man, a new 7800 version of Pac-Man that Bob's coded, and some extra modes that you can actually use on both 2600 Pac-Man and the 7800 one, including fast mode. So it's quite cool. You've got fast mode and random mazes are the two, and they can be applied to the 2600 version as well, which is really interesting. So that suggests that maybe he's recoded the 2600 version in some way. But yes, that's out now. You can buy it. Lots of people probably got it for Christmas. But what Atari have done now, actually, no, go back a moment, as well as the Pac-Man console, Atari did also announce a set of cartridges that they were releasing, because they've got this licensing deal with Namco, obviously to do the Pac-Man. They also announced they were re-releasing 7800 Gallagher, 7800 Xevious, 7800 Dig Dug, and obviously there's the Pac-Man cartridge. They announced 4 cartridges which would all work with a standard Atari 7800 console or your Plus console. So I didn't buy any of those either. I might buy the Pac-Man one maybe, but I didn't buy any of those because I already own all the original 7800 versions, so there's no point. I know Pac-Man collection for 7800, of course, because it's amazing. And now they've done another thing, which is probably not really a surprise, but it's nice to see, in terms of they've added all of that to Atari 50. So we have a new DLC for Atari 50, which is always amazing, because we already had the they did the expansion pack, basically the wider world of Atari, I think it was called, where they had like Berserk, they had to it, Stern stuff that they bought, and they added some more arcade games mostly. There was a few other games as well, I can't remember what they were, but it was mostly some new arcade games that they added to the collection, some more obscure stuff that wasn't on it already, and Berserk was, I suppose, the big one that they added. So we have, and then they added the in television, the first Console War DLC. I've looked at all of these on the channel as well. I've looked at Atari 50 and the DLCs on this channel in the past, and now we've got a new one because we've got Namco DLC for Atari 50. And in terms of what's on it, it's going to have the timeline things. You'll have some videos and history. I'm sure it'll have an interview like Todd Fry talking about Pac-Man and stuff like that, for example. You can guarantee it, can't you, really? But it has loads of extra games on, obviously, as well. And it's those same games that they've released in the 7800 cartridges. So we have Gallagher, we have Gallagher, and we have Galaxian, I think it is. Then we have Galaxian for the 2600 5200 and Atari 8-bit. Why have Atari 8-bit and 5200? I don't know, because they're exactly the same. So why they've got both of those, I don't really know. Then we've got Pac-Man, of course. So we've got the 2600 version, and we've got the Atari 8-bit version of 5200 again. It's the same, pointless. But we haven't got that 7800 version, the new one that's on the cartridge. They haven't put that on there. I don't know why, but they haven't. Maybe it's because they're only putting original games on there. So that's not on there. But then we've got Dig Dug. And with Dig Dug, we've got 2600, 7800, Atari 8-bit, 5200. And last of all, we've got Xevious, and we've got 7800 Xevious. And I think that's it. I'm just trying to look at it on the screen. No, we've got Arcade Xevious as well, which is really cool, actually. Very cool to see that on there. So that's very nice if I did that. Have we actually got the... so we have got Arcade Dig Dug as well. Sorry, I'm just trying to look at the screen next to me. Yeah, but not Arcade Galaga, Galaxian or Pac-Man. So strange to get Arcade Dig Dug and Arcade version Xevious, but not the others. Maybe they're unlockable, I don't know, but they're certainly not on the list on the Atari website. That's what I was trying to look at on the computer screen next to me. There was light reflecting off it, and I couldn't really read it very well. Apologies for sort of sticking my head off the camera. But what's strange on that is, as well, the last one, Xevious, is there is an Atari 8-bit and 5200 version that wasn't released. There was a prototype, so that's not on there, which seems strange. And there's a 2600 prototype of Xevious as well. Both are finished. The 2600 version is really impressive, actually, for its time. But they weren't released, but they're not on there, which seems really strange that they're not on there again, unless they're unlockable. Because you think they'd stick them on there to get them released, because it's so cool that they've done this deal with Namco to do all this stuff. But yeah. I mean, there is some other stuff they probably could have put on there as well. I mean, there's a homebrew version of Galaxian for the 7800. I think Bob Di Crescenzo did it, actually. That could have gone on there. There's a really good homebrew port of Rally X for the 2600, which was done by Ed Freeze, which I've covered on the channel, actually. You did it in a 4-play video. That might not be nice if they put that on there. So that's a different Namco game. And we've got none of the other Pac-Mans, which is strange, because you could have had Junior Pac-Man on there, which you haven't got on them as Pac-Man, which isn't on there. So we've got none of the other Pac-Mans on there. So that's kind of weird as well. I mean, you could have had Pac-Land from the Lynx as well, and Pac-Land or Pac-Mania both on the ST. There's Ms. Pac-Man on the Lynx as well, of course. So there is more Namco games that they possibly could have put on something like this. It's a prototype of Rolling Thunder for the Lynx. I'm trying to think if there's any other Namco stuff. Those are the titles that are springing to mind right now. But yeah, but there is other stuff they could have put on there. So it's a shame maybe that they didn't expand on this a little bit more. But it's still nice to have this. It's still nice to have this Namco DLC for Atari 50. And as long as it's not too much money, I will probably get it. Because actually I really like 7800 Galaga. I really like playing that, and I could see myself playing that quite a bit on a collection like this. And I absolutely love the 7800 version of Dig Dug. It's my favourite version of Dig Dug. Every time I stick on my 7800 Plus, I end up playing Dig Dug. So it's nice to have those. I'm not such a fan of Xevious. I don't think it's aged very well. I get a lot of people like, what? People love Xevious. And when I did my greatest 7800 games of all time on this channel, I think Xevious was like 2nd or 3rd or something. It was really high on the list. It was yeah, I'm sure it was 2nd or 3rd. So yeah, everyone seemed to love it. I was like, oh my god, it's I'm not really a fan at all of that game. So it's strange that it got so high on that list. But I mean, it's above Ninja Golf, for God's sake. No way it should be above Ninja Golf. Ninja Golf is legendary. But anyway, I digress. This is quite a short one this week. So yeah, are you excited about the legendary Namco games appearing now as part of Atari 50? Can you think of any other titles that they could have put on there that I haven't mentioned? And do you think there'll be some secrets in there? I mean, I'd love to hear your views and opinions and stuff on what you think of the Namco DLC for Atari 50. But as always, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you all again for another one very soon. Bye-bye.
We have at Atari Japan that we ended up selling to Namco. Atari Japan actually put Namco in the video game business.
Attack formation. Always ready, sir. Okay, I'm peeling off. Cover me.
You're watching television, somebody's playing a video game, they have an Xbox controller, it doesn't matter what they have, but what do you hear when you're watching it? You hear Pac-Man.
You hear this Pac-Man.
You hear this Pac-Man.
The arcade hit, now for the Atari 2600 system.
I mean, this is really the breakthrough video game that went from games selling 100,000 to it sold 10 million.